As we continue through Lent, I'm continuing to do some thinking about one of the collects in our prayer book about the Scriptures that asks that the Lord may grant us to so hear them, read, mark, learn, and inwardly digest them, that by patience and the comfort of your holy word we may embrace and ever hold fast the blessed hope of everlasting life. I've talked about a number of things, but I'm focusing today on the notion of marking the Holy Scriptures. What does it mean to mark the Scriptures? And it might, of course, mean that we're going to mark them up, which I actually do. Sometimes when I'm studying the Scriptures, I am actually marking them up. I'm sort of circling things and underlining things and things like that. So that's one way of marking them. But the word that we mean in this context, to mark the Scriptures, is ultimately to pay careful attention to them. And so, it's sort of along the same lines as when someone says, mark my words. That's, of course, comes as sort of sometimes as a threat. Mark my words, this thing is going to happen. This is not in the sense of threat. But mark my words means really pay attention to what I'm saying. Pay attention to my words. It is sort of what Jesus says, everyone who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. It is this notion of hearing them or reading them and whatever, but hearing them and doing them. There's the sense in which we respond to what we read and we hear in the Scriptures. It's helping to understand that it's not just we're just reading these for interesting ideas or interesting thoughts. It is about helping us to learn how to change or alter our life. I'll give you a good example of this that happened to me once. There's often a great debate. People wonder, well, what do I do about when I encounter somebody who asks for money on the street? What do I do? And there's lots of people that sort of say, well, if you give them money, they're going to use it for inappropriate things and all that sort of stuff. And I fought with that a lot. And then I remember reading the Scriptures when Jesus says, give to all who ask. It's not complicated. Give to all who ask. So since then, when I have had something, I don't always have something, and somebody asks me, I give to all who ask. I'm marking the word. I'm paying attention to the word. Now, I'm not suggesting that if people make different decisions about that, that's wrong. But that's an example of actually encountering the Scriptures, reading them and noticing what they say and then responding in a given way. This may also come to us when we read things in the Scriptures like the Lord's Prayer that says, forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Sometimes when we come close to that, we realize there isn't a responsibility on our part as we mark the Scriptures, that there are those that we need to forgive ourselves and things like that. So there are great opportunities as we read the Scriptures, as we hear them, to actually pay attention to them and to respond to them by doing what the Scriptures say. The Scriptures, in that sense, are meant to transform how we act, how we behave, and who we are. And that's all part of what it means to hear, read, mark, learn, and inwardly digest.